Ladies and gents, just when you think the football season's over, bang, here are the European Championships. Here at SMG&T, we are proudly sponsored by Manscaped. Whether you've got the Fellaini booth or the Declan Rice smooth, always use our products to get the best effect. Use our code SMGT for 20% and trim yourself up even when it hurts. Have a great day. Keep it safe. Come on, New England, let's bring it home.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Saturday Morning G&T on this special Saturday morning edition of Saturday Morning G&T.
It's the Euro edition.
The Euro Cup final edition, England versus Italy. How are we doing, guys?
Wicked. I mean, to be honest with you, at the beginning of the tournament, I don't think I would have thought that we'd be sitting here talking about England being in the final. I think we could potentially foresee maybe Italy being around it, but I think our usual...
I don't think anyone perceived Italy even being in the final. You know, maybe the semis or quarters, but no one really thought Italy were going to get out for, the favourites one.
But we're in now.
Yeah.
We're in.
Right.
Hey, look at the two teams that I think probably were favourites at the time. You had France, Belgium. I think those
Portugal
two.
as well.
Portugal as well. Yeah, look at that Portuguese team. But but I do think that these two are the best teams in the tournament, as in team-wise.
Yeah,
they've performed.
Without a doubt.
I have to agree there.
I think it's
we just all agreed on the same thing.
Cut. Show's finished. Stop now.
Stop now. No, I think you're right, gents, as well. I think over the course of it, I think both teams have come into it.
Italy have been flying from day dot.
Yeah.
They've flown all the way through and they've shown the Italian way of grinding out what they needed to grind.
Do you know what?
Whereas England have grown into the tournament really, really well. You know?
What I really liked was actually, in a weird way, was seeing us go one down and the reaction to it, because we've not had to go one down. And let's face it, we've not, apart from Germany, we've not really been tested that much.
No.
But to go 1-0 down to a very good goal, which no mainstream TV has even shown the replay of it. All I've seen is Kane's penalty. But it was a great finish. But to bounce back from that, I think shows a lot of mentality. And let's give a bit of credit as well to the players, but also to the gaffer for making the relevant changes, because there were some big changes there that he had to make. And Saka come out again, showing that he was a very welcome addition.
Guess what?
What?
We'll get on to those.
I've not even seen the script. It's magic. It works.
Is bottom line, is it coming home?
It's got to, isn't it? Got to come home now, mate.
Is it coming home or going to Rome? I think it's coming home.
It's coming home.
It's not going to be easy.
It's got to come home.
I've just got this feeling it's coming home, and I wouldn't want to put this on any of our hearts here, but I've got a feeling it's going to go pens. It's just going to go the whole way. But I think it's on England. England have got a momentum. I think it's going to happen. So
I think it's all going to be down to how. I'm not saying we are the Harry Kane team like Pep, but the way Harry Kane adapts his game for that final and drops deep and doesn't fall into the hands of Bonucci and Chiellini. I think that's a big battle where he comes back and he exposes the second choice left back they've got, the right back they've got, the lack of pace in that Italian back line with the speedsters in those attacking wing positions as Sterling, probably Saka, maybe Sancho, you never know, that come into that game and he drops back. Playing those balls, playing like he did for Tottenham, really. A lot of people question throughout the tournament, why is he coming so deep and stuff? But that's the new Harry Kane. That's the new all-round Harry Kane.
And he worked the other night. Let's give him a bit of credit as well, because he's had some stick. He dropped deep. He was joining in with the play, spreading the play nice. he got picked up some free kicks in some dangerous areas, which enabled us to put pressure on them by whipping it in. So
you remember that cross he put in from the right hand side, and I think it was
Sterling should have thrown himself there.
That was just like I was like, that was Sun, that's a goal, wasn't it?
All that's Gaza. That's Gaza against Germany.
That's exactly how far that was as well.
At that stage,
that's exactly how far that was.
Another factor as well, guys, is Verratti mentioned it in the paper. He said about Wembley not scaring them. I think it's got to be a massive factor for us.
That's what makes us favourites.
The atmosphere,
being at home.
Yeah, and the atmosphere the other night is not anything to be not frightened about. It was, it's electric. The idea behind it is that it's supposed to be a neutral final, but this is not a neutral final. This is
the home final.
66,000 English fans and 1,000 Italian fans. We shouldn't even hear. They shouldn't even be heard.
I don't even think you're going to get the standard sort of black market ticket sales with this. I don't think any Italian is going to be able to purchase a second-hand ticket off an England fan for this final. I don't think there's going to be any.
There's a whole load going around though. There's a whole load going around from starting at 3K going up to 5, 6, 7K per ticket.
That's a great point, mate.
We don't promote that.
That's the reality. That's the reality.
And
the thing is, they can officially do it because as long as you download the Euro ticket app, they can transfer that ticket to you, and there's nothing against that.
Yeah,
I wanted to touch upon that as well. I mean, in the last games, we all know because there's been games that I haven't been, but you two guys have been, and I could have gone. But the actual face value of these tickets for this tournament, starting off with a select, we weren't allowed 60,000 at the beginning of it, but it's developed into it. I don't know whether you guys know, but majority of them were around sort of 500, 550 quid.
The Cat ones, all the way to the semi-finals, were 550
quid, yeah.
But the Cat ones for the final, about £2,000.
Precisely. So, do you think that this is a bit of a piss take? To be honest with you, I mean, I know we haven't had fans in the stadium, but you are festering and feeding off of a frenzy and not giving much back to the fans at this stage yet. I know everybody wants to be there, and I know these tickets would end up going for more anyway. But it's a bit of a piss take that it's a lot of people's half of their salary generally.
Yeah, it's not the FA, mate. This is UEFA.
Yeah,
they get a chance to make this money once every 4 years. And, like with every other business, they're desperate to get money in. But you know what? Talking about money and giving back to the community and the rest of it, have you heard what the England team are prepared to do? If they win the prize money for this Sunday's final, I think for the winning team's about £26 million.
Yeah.
And the England team, all the players have agreed that they will give up £9.5 million of it to the NHS if they win.
Oh my God.
Did you not know that?
No, I just heard that.
And now, if they, they shouldn't need any extra motivation to win this final, but they win this final and they're able to do that and contribute to the NHS with everything that the whole country's been through. Just the gesture itself says a lot, That's
absolutely, mate.
So much credit. How did he get the job, mate? He got the job because Big Sam got done with his pants down by
pretty much. Yeah.
And
I think he was always in the line because obviously he was involved in the setup, and I think that has paid dividends now because he's understood what it's like to be an international manager. And let's face it, England have got to X amount of semi-finals in the last however long, and he's contributed to two of those in the last 2 tournament years. So the last 2 tournaments. So a lot of credit has to go to him, and as well the amount of changes that he had to make. He promised bringing in young players. He's done that. He promised making it a little bit more exciting. I think he's done that. A lot of credit has to go to him, and he'll deserve it, especially whether we win or lose.
Yeah, of course.
The boys have done well.
For me, the biggest plus point about Gareth Southgate is he cares about the people his players are, not just the players.
Yeah.
He shows a lot of empathy Is that the right word?
Empathy.
Yeah, empathy towards his players, and he is supporting them and giving them platforms to actually speak their minds for people like Sterling, for people like Tyrone Mings, for people like Marcus Rashford. He's really pushed them. Jordan Henderson, he's really pushed them to, talk up and don't be shy and not just let it be about football and let them be the role model.
Jack Grealish. You sort of mentioned Southgate dealing and handling players in certain ways, and different players need different things. It seems to me Grealish is getting a different sort of treatment to other players there in regards to the way that he's been dealt with on being subbed on, being subbed off. That could, in a different team and a different vibe, cause uproar. Yeah. But do you think that is he feels that's the best way to treat Jack Grealish?
I think what you've got to remember is Grealish come back after a big injury and kept him out for, I think it was 12 weeks in the end. And he come back for the last 3 weeks of the season, and he played one of those games was, I think, a full game, and the others were kind of cameos. And he's come into a squad where he didn't start the tournament. He's been used, in the last 20 minutes and here ad hoc. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, because look, our success isn't about one player. It's not about Grealish. It's not about Kane. It's about the whole squad and the team. And even someone like Tyrone Mings, who started the tournament, and I thought done very well. He's come out of the team, but they're still there rooting them on. Foden, the likes of that, Sancho's, who's only played for a little bit. There's some players that haven't even had 1 minute, but the togetherness is that the squad is there. And that's what Gareth Southgate has done well. He's kept the squad unite, and he's made them believe that they are together and they're going to go and do this together, if you're in the starting 11 or not. Now, realistically, 8 players, I think it is, or 9, have pretty much kept their starting lineup, right? So we know roughly who that has been. It's only the right back and the right wing position that has been tinkered with. And I think he'll continue that going into this final game. So a lot of credit has to go to that. But to answer your question, I don't think Grealish would be left disappointed. I think Grealish come in, he done his job, he picked up those free kicks, he drove the ball forward, he made things happen. You're in this last half of the second half of extra time, and you need to kind of make sure that nothing silly is going to happen. And Grealish falls into that category of being a luxury type of player, and he had to bring a player off to do that. Now, everyone was saying, why didn't he take Sterling off, or why didn't he take
Sterling? You see the pace that he was showing.
So when you're playing counter-attack football, you need the pace to be able to do that, and you need to keep the defenders at a high line. So because of that, he made the right decision.
Of course he did.
And simple as that. So I don't think Grealish can be disappointed. And expect to see him again in the final. I'll see him 70th minute. Grealish will be off regardless.
I think Grealish is in a weird position of, I think he's too good to leave out of the squad. But I don't actually think he fits into Southgate's formation. Yeah, because he's not a right winger. He's not a left winger.
No, he's a flank really.
And he's not. And Mason Mount is the person who is occupying that position.
Yeah.
But I actually think Jack Grealish is better further back.
Yeah.
But he's not going to leave out Calvin Phillips. He's not going to leave out Declan Rice, because that's his shield for those that back 3, back 4,
which enables the others to go forward.
So I think Grealish is that one player who doesn't actually fit into that team, but he's going to make things happen. If it was a club team, he would probably be sold because he doesn't fit into that. But at international level, he's not going to kick off, is he?
No, but he can't though, because they're in the final, mate.
And over 38 games in the league,
he does.
Yeah, over 38 games in the league, you'll play your part if you're good enough. In tournament football, when it's 4 or 5 games, it's just about winning against those opposition. Yeah. And unfortunately or fortunately for him, England have been doing well. So he's been competing with Mount. When Mount couldn't play because he had to shield, which was ridiculous in itself, or isolate, he got his opportunity and done all right. Yeah, but Mount offers maybe something to the formation that they work on in training every single day that maybe Grealish doesn't. But like I said, expect to see Grealish on again in the 65th, 70th minute, and he will change the game regardless. He will bring the ball forward. He will win free kicks against the Italians. And the Italians will draw 3 or 4 men to him, which will leave space for everyone else. So Grealish will play a massive part in whatever happens on Sunday. So nothing to worry about. We're many years ahead, like Foden.
A point that's not really being raised is something that I keep picking up in every game, and it doesn't seem to be, not many people seem to be coming back to me with opinions on it. But for me,
we'll give you an opinion, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
Shot stopping. Can't really fault him apart from
his kicking's been good as well, mate. He's kicking any shot
up until the last game.
Every game I've watched so far, there's been at least one error with kicking. And it seems to me like he either sadistically likes the adrenaline that comes from this, because he's where we've dominated most of the games. It's like you've either got to wake yourself up, and he just likes the adrenaline of it. But that last game, I reckon there was 3 or 4 occasions that I remember where either he ran out and kicked it out straight out rather than hitting someone. And his kicking is amazing. When we had Alan Kirbishley on the show, you look at what Curbs was saying about how good his kicking is and how accurate he was. And he's probably the best long passer that England have got in the team, oddly enough. You'd probably say Kane, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But I hope that this isn't a prelude to this final being one error, one issue that is going to be capitalised on, because there was that one where he got the ball against Denmark and he threw it out straight to the player and that could easily have come on top.
Well, I'll give my opinion on it because I just do. I think I think going into the tournament, we was all worried as a nation. Us three alluded to it. Was our back five or back our defence, right? And I think the people that are in front of Pickford have all come in at some point and basically squashed our concerns. They played together, and I want to touch on Maguire and Stone's partnership afterwards because they've been absolutely phenomenal. Harry Maguire, for me, he's been outstanding. So going back to Pickford, I think the problem with Pickford is Pickford needs to just be a goalkeeper, just concentrate on being a very good shot stopper, which he is, and he proved that because he made a couple of really good saves still. What he's in the team for is to get quick attacks going and his distribution.
He wants to be like an Edison, doesn't he?
He wants to be like that sweeper player, right? So sometimes his reactions are to quickly get the ball moving and throw it out. And Southgate, even at times, the camera panned to him as well, and he'll turn around and go, calm down. Calm down. And the reason is he just wants to get the attack going because Shaw's gone. Yeah, or Walker's gone. Just calm down. Distribution-wise, there's not a better goalkeeper in that squad or in the Premier League probably, along with Edison, we mentioned, that has got that great. Just be a goalkeeper. Don't do anything silly on Sunday. Don't buy into the.
He's not the game for it, is he?
He just has to be a goalkeeper.
I think that's not just a Pickford problem. I think that's the whole team problem for not kicking from goal kicks and clearances, but generally, I think the boys will be relatively calm, and I think Southgate will be is the best man for that job to keep everyone calm. They'll probably watch movies, play PlayStation, chilling today,
playing with unicorns.
Yeah, whatever they're doing. Some of the memes that they come out with Saka is hilarious. But look, I reckon
he seems like the most liked player in that team.
Apparently, he's very much that person. Everyone likes him. Everyone gets on well with him. I think Luke Shaw was commenting saying that I've never met him before. Coming into the England team on the social aspect, which you don't expect them to cross paths. We said he's one of the nicest and genuine guys, and you can see that.
He's highly
with a smile on his face.
He's highly intelligent as well. My brother was saying that he's like a A-star student at GCSEs and stuff like that.
That's his nickname, isn't it? Starboy. Starboy.
Oh, is that that's his nickname? I thought that was just his play.
That's his nickname.
Good luck to him. Him and a lot of people.
He looks like a baby as well.
I don't think he had the best of games against.
No, but he was clinical. He made the right runs and he put the ball in the right dangerous area, which caused the own goal.
Yeah.
So when you watch
that pass, what about that ball from Kane?
It was a great pass.
But he's making those runs for Kane to find someone.
Yeah,
right?
and they've clearly worked on that because you can see that they tried it a couple of times, didn't work out once, then it worked out a second time, and then it was like, boom, arrow ball, Sterling's in the middle. If you put the ball in the right position at the right pace, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Worst thing he could have done would have been to try and clip it because Sterling would have got it. Drill it across the box, anything can happen.
Let's talk about Sterling. I mean, what a polarising figure he is, oddly enough.
Did anyone see Roy Keane and Ian Wright at the end of the ITV.
No, I didn't.
Oh, really?
No.
What we're going to do is we're going to edit this clip in, and it actually kicked off with Roy Keane and Ian Wright.
Really?
It's amazing to see him, and he'll have a great night tonight, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the penalty decision then, Roy. What's your verdict on the awarding of the penalty for England?
Well, I don't think it's a penalty. Obviously, we've looked back. It was unlikely when they were with the VAR that they were going to see it was a clear and obvious mistake. But Sterling got stronger as the game went on, and when you got people who can go past people, it just opens the game. And I think very, very soft.
Arguably, Gary, actually it was more of a penalty not given on Harry Kane down below us, which VAR had a look at, which didn't give.
Yeah, look, if we're being fair, and obviously at this point in the show we are going to be, you'd be absolutely devastated to lose to a penalty like that. It's so soft, but they have been consistent in this tournament in being very, I suppose in some ways, reluctant to overturn these types of decisions.
People can say they're soft, but we've been seeing those have been given all season. The little clip, little touch. You know, you heard what Raheem said. They felt like he got touched. He went down.
Right, you're going to defend him anyway, no matter what.
It's not a case of defending him anyway. You know how it is, right?
Basically, Harry Kane was getting all the plaudits for scoring the goal, and for me, I agree with Ian Wright. Raheem Sterling probably was man of the match.
Yeah,
but it was given to they call it the star of the match. Now, don't they? They just call it man of the match.
Oh God, you're joking.
Yeah.
They can't call him man of the match.
No, they call it full tournament. You missed it. Start of the match now. Harry Kane.
Well, so the abbreviation is SOTM. Is that what it is? It used to be MOTM, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, Sutton, you still can't.
Well, anyway, carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it is what it is, mate. Yeah, UEFA have called it star of the match. So
along with Kane, though, you've got to chuck in Maguire,
but
Walker, and I think
Sterling was the guy from the beginning and to the end of that match.
Sterling's brilliant.
Running teams, yeah,
absolutely.
And what happened was what the point Ian Wright was making, and you know, it'll be better to when we put the clip in. It's fucking hilarious the way it happens, and he's just saying, "Look, that's great. Kane's done a great job, but for me, Sterling should be getting the plaudits, and he should have got star of the match or man of the match, and we need to big him up more." And what Roy Keane's gone and he's turned around and said to him is, "Are you his agent or something?
You try and big him up."
Yeah, why are you bigging him up so much?" And Ian Wright has just kind of lost it a little bit.
I think there might be some undertones.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah. And it's all about, you know, relating to what's been going on all season with the Black Lives Matter and all of this. And Ian Wright actually got all personal about it. And he goes, "No, I'm making my point." And then I think Roy Keane then responded with whatever Wright he said. Roy Keane goes, "But you probably don't care, mate." Sterling, honestly, he goes, "He doesn't care, but I know, I'm telling you, I care, and I know a hell of a lot of other people," which I'm assuming what he's trying to say is that black people or something like that are thinking that, you know, black players are not getting the credit in the team. And that was where the conversation goes. And the presenter, I can't remember his name, there was Neville, Wright, and Keane with the three pundits, turn around and say, "Gosh, shall we take this outside and finish this off later on?" And you can just see Keane just there like a wind up. There's a smirk on his face. Ian Wright's there, you can see the smoke coming out of his ears. And that was something that, you know,
I think you can watch you want football and you'd have a different man of the match. I'm not going to call it star of the match. You could have a different man of the match depending on who you support and depending on how much of the game you've watched and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I watch games and I look at them and they give it to somebody who's contributed to like whatever, and you think, how the hell have you not given it to someone else? But anyway, that type of argument, like you said, I think there's a little bit more meat into it. Going back to Sterling, when he got picked in the first game of the tournament, everyone was questioning, does he deserve to be in the starting lineup?
Yeah.
And we could have drawn our teams out, and Sterling wasn't on form. And I guarantee you, Sterling probably wouldn't have been in any of our starting lineups.
But from memory, I think we all picked Foden and Grealish.
Foden and Grealish over, based on form, based on who we wanted to see. Sterling as a player is someone that I've always rated, and he can always change a game. What people allude to is that, is that he smashed it at Liverpool, right? Got his move, smashed it at Man City, still doing so, and he's done brilliant for England as well. He's never let us down in that respect.
He's been incredible.
And this tournament,
last 2 years.
the run that
He
he's
let
been making.
a few people down in previous tournaments. I think there was a lot of hype about him, and it was that standard England thing where the hype is before the tournament. This tournament, I think
he's been the player of the tournament for England.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
not the player of the tournament per se, but he's been England's player of the tournament.
But does that make a case if England win for him to be player of the tournament?
Maybe.
Why not?
Can you think of anybody else?
Let's see what he does in the final. I think what happens in that final and contributes
cemented
that cup being won.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be the underlying.
Because he's probably competing with a few of the Italians.
No, exactly. I was going to say it's going to be at the Italian and England team. Yeah. And if you probably stop picking out names of who it could be from the England team, you've got Sterling, you've got Maguire that's coming late, but he's been a massive difference to the team. And you've got Harry Kane, obviously, whose goals are changing games, and he's scoring the games with goals where they matter now.
Well, look at Harry Maguire in that Denmark game. Look who he's up against in corners. That Vestergaard, he's got to be 6'6".
Yeah,
he's got to be 6'6". He can leap. He's a monster himself. And Harry Maguire pretty much won every single.
Not only did he win every battle, he in the attacking box, he nearly scored twice. Got on his head every single time. And but better than that, how many times, and I could see it really clearly, how many times did he intercept a ball that was getting played into the centre forward's path, coming in and nicking it like a good general. Most people, how many fouls did they give away? Tackle from behind, he was coming in front and winning it.
He got that yellow, didn't he? He got that yellow for the elbow. And I think, unless you're a Man United fan, and even some Man United fans watching week in, week out, don't rate him as highly as I think he should. But I think he's been absolutely brilliant.
We talked about this last show. The only reason he gets the criticism that he gets is because of the transfer fee that he moved for.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
I didn't really watch him at Leicester. It was only at England.
I remember watching him from Hull.
Yeah.
I remember watching him at Hull. I remember watching him at Leicester. And I can see why Man United went in with what they did.
He looked like he turned slow at these clubs for me. When he come up against a quick striker, I think he's going to develop a lot since the game.
A big thing is also, it's going to make you at one of the biggest clubs in the world where the expectancy is there for them to perform. And fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you support, I think also this was discussed in the last show when I said Lindelof is a good defender and stuff like that. He hasn't had the right partnership at Man United and not a consistent one either.
He's been that stalwart since then. But if you think back a year ago, I think it was, to last summer, him getting caught in a bit of an issue whilst on holiday. You think
forgot about that?
Yeah, precisely. And he's been through it. He's been through issues. He's had a lot of criticism. It looks like a bit of a comeback story, and everyone loves a comeback story, don't they?
Yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. But personally, for me, I think what is driving this England team, look how fit those boys are. Look at Denmark in the second half, the first half of extra time and the second half.
Well, you remember the second half of extra time, they only played 10 men back.
Precisely, but that's because injury. Look how spent they look. Look how physically fit. I think Kyle Walker looks like the bionic man. He was running up and down non-stop for 120 minutes. He was absolutely unbelievable. You look at Raheem Sterling. Now he's known for his speed and his quickness and his agility.
Not after 120 minutes.
120 minutes.
118 or 117 minutes. I think he's done that mad run down the right hand side again.
Which he should have scored, shouldn't it?
Yeah. And I think it goes back to the Premier League itself, in my opinion. It's the best league in the world, and your fitness levels have to be at that level to compete.
Look at them, sure.
And the players that are competing, and this is the one thing, a lot of players have gone back there now with their families and stuff like that, apart from obviously England and Italy. But, players that play for their team, they're now on their own personal holidays. The rest, these guys have not stopped all the way through. And probably not going to get a lot of holiday because they're going to have to start joining the club. But from a fitness point of view, it's paid dividends, and I think that is also going to be.
They're all going to Vegas, aren't they? They're all going to Vegas. If they win, they go to Vegas. who's that? Saka and Grealish.
No, Grealish
is definitely had a beer. Saka and Rice going to have their first beers. And
they said Harry Kane. They asked Harry Kane, "Which one are you going to do? Are you going to have a beer? Or are you going to go play?" You're in all of the above.
All of them.
As a West Ham fan, mate, quite interested to hear your point of view. Was Southgate vindicated? Has he been vindicated in leaving Jesse Lingard out?
Yeah, he probably has now. When you look at where England are with it, I think Lingard was never going to be a starter.
He was that guy that could make a difference.
He had a great, time at West Ham, and he made a massive impact over a small period of time. And I think he'd always done well for England as well. I think at the time when he was left out, I was really disappointed because I think that he was someone on form. But he could have been a Saka if he got given his opportunity and stuff like that. But to answer your question, I think Southgate made the right decision. We're in the final.
Doesn't it?
All the decisions he's made.
There's people in the squad that haven't played 1 minute. Someone like Ben White, for example, is someone going to turn around and go, was taking Ben White over someone else the right decision? Well, it is the right decision. He's in the squad and he's one for the future. And that's why he's there.
Tournament experience counts for a big thing, being around these players, understanding how tournament
can do. You look at someone like Theo Walcott, who's brought up 16 years old for the tournament.
Well, he wasn't talking the other day and he said I was a bit too young to go to that tournament.
That was obvious, wasn't it? That was obvious, but it did get me excited.
And then
I was excited when they called him up.
So injuries done him massively, and unfortunately, you can pick up injuries.
And where it was a 26-man squad as well because of the COVID, and you've got the 5 substitute rule and the rest of it, and you can make the 6th one in extra time. I think, like I said, everything Gareth's.
And the other thing as well is with Lingard, he probably wouldn't have had, and he won't have another tournament in him. Must be a question I'm answering. No, have you asked another question since?
No, mate, I haven't.
Thank you. Please. The other thing is Lingard won't have another tournament in him.
Is he coming back to West Ham then?
Probably not. It's a shame. But he's probably not got another tournament in him because the fact that he likes having youngsters, got the Jude Bellingham's coming through. And it's going to be really interesting to see, and I firmly believe this, if England win on Sunday, or even if they don't win on Sunday, I think it'll take us into World Cup. World Cup winning mentality. Yeah. And I think some of the players that are going to come through in the next year are going to be a massive part of it. But if we can keep that nucleus of that squad together, it'll work. Thank you for answering that question.
A bit controversial, not everyone's favourite topic at the minute, but there's murmurings of, I've seen a lot of Scottish fans, I've seen a lot of Italian fans, mentioning a certain element of cheating in the England-Denmark game.
What bit of cheating?
Well, you've got a couple of bits. You've got a penalty that a lot of people are saying was not a penalty.
England haven't cheated.
You
look at them as soft, but I don't think it's not cheating, is it?
Look, if the referee didn't give it, then I don't think VAR.
It went to VAR.
VAR wouldn't have turned it around, but that wasn't an obvious mistake because he clips him. It might have been a little touch.
If it was the other way round, it would have been
up in arms.
But look, that's not cheating.
Okay,
that is not cheating.
On to the next thing.
Sterling didn't dive.
Dark arts. Is that cheating?
No. That's football.
Say it again?
Dark arts.
What's that? Diving.
Not diving.
There's one player who has been sectioned out as almost the king of it, as we speak. Harry Kane. Harry Kane with his hold-up play.
Yeah, he does love it.
He loves to. I mean, it's impressive because
you put an arm on him and he goes down.
He doesn't get picked up as a diver. But you look at his play, and the Scottish fans are venomous about it in regards to how his hold-up play is. But as an England fan watching him, you think, what a great striker.
Well, I think it's about time we've done that because I think we've been a bit soft doing it, and I think it's about time. I completely agree. I think Kane sometimes does do that. He's done it in Spurs. I've seen it. He does this other thing when players are jumping and he does that.
His whole persona is this ultra honest, humble guy.
But this is something that's coming to his game.
He won free kicks in the right area. He won free kicks in the right area, which enabled us to push up, get the big men on them, and cause them a little bit of trouble. So long may you do it. In my eyes, that's not cheating because every centre forward does that. So no cheating for me.
Pre, Tottenham fan.
Yes.
Big Tottenham fan.
Go on, mate.
Do you think, with Harry Kane potentially winning, say for argument's sake, Sunday it happens, it comes home, do you think winning Euro 2020 means that Harry Kane will no longer have a desire to leave Tottenham?
No, I think you still probably have the desire to leave, but then is any club got the desire to play what Daniel Levy wants? Because Harry Kane's not calling the shots here. Daniel Levy, with a 3-year contract behind him, is calling the shots, and with this player being the best striker at the tournament, because it's not Italy ain't got.
Does this change him from forcing the move?
No, but could you see him? What I was going to say about forcing a move. Could you see him refusing to play?
No, never.
You can't see him doing that.
And you?
Oh, yeah,
Being the captain,
his desire to move,
the leader of Tottenham,
but he has come out and said, "I want to move." There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't let him move, player power.
I see him giving it one more season. I say he'll give it one more season.
But then they're still not going to get their 100 million for him next year.
Of course they are.
Next year, when he's going to be a year older.
Has his value increased?
Of course it has.
Has his value increased?
100%. I don't think he's gone down.
Of course it has.
I don't think it increased. I don't think it's gone down. I mean, the problem is at the moment is only probably 1 or 2 teams that can afford.
But he only wants to go to one club. And that's where he's cut his own thing off by talking about De Bruyne and stuff like that. And Pep come out in the press the other day, and there's a whole big game going on at the moment.
This picture says it all, really. I think he's going Man City. Just with Carl
because with his old Tottenham teammate.
I don't think the Kyle Walker transfer has set a precedent for him of, look at my teammate. Kyle Walker said it was the hardest decision he's ever had to make, and he cried when he left Tottenham. But he's gone to Man City, and look at the career that he's had at Man City.
Everyone does. Everyone in his
and you as Harry Kane sitting there, even though you're earning top money at Tottenham, you look at Kyle Walker, who was not the star of that Tottenham team by any stretch of the imagination.
I think him and Danny Rose were massive parts of the success Tottenham had, mate. That's what they paid 50 million for.
Yeah, but he wasn't a superstar.
He was just a player in that team.
You had Modric in there and other people in there at that time as well.
He wasn't a superstar of that team, but he's gone on, and he's not a superstar of that Man City team. But look at the trophies that he's won. Look at the experience that he's had, the experiences that he's had at Man City. Mm-hmm. And Kane can only look over enviously at that, surely.
Every player.
Yeah.
Every player. And that's why people make those moves. Sterling done it. Sterling moved from Liverpool to Man City because Liverpool weren't winning things, right? And then he won in his first year. Okay, Liverpool got back on track and now, a very, very good side again.
Yeah.
But people look at other people, and normally it is when they are in and around the England squad.
Yeah.
It's not always about money. It sometimes is just about winning things. And if you're a footballer and you're competing at the highest level, you want to win trophies. You want something to look back at when you're younger. If he's got a European Championship sitting on his thing, he'll be absolutely delighted by that. And it's not a given that he's going to win stuff at Man City, but he's got more chance of winning something at Man City than he has.
There's no arguments there.
They'll win something.
No arguments there. But like I said, I think who holds the key to this is Daniel Levy. Because
unless he took cut chances twice at his parent.
He won't do that. His character's not that way inclined.
Yeah, but you just don't know, mate. You don't know.
I don't think there's no buts or ifs about it.
Well, I think if he wasn't that type of character, I don't think he would have come out 6 weeks before the end of the season, 4 weeks before the end of the season and gone, I want to move.
Trust me,
to do that.
Trust me, the noises that you would be making at this stage, if you're any sort of.
Did you not hear his one day goes, I'm looking forward to going back to Tottenham and meeting Nuno and Paratici, and it's always nice that Paratici.
That's great, mate. But the noise that is going to come out of Tottenham, no matter what, is we're not going to sell him because that's what gets you top money.
Of course it is. Like I said, he only goes if the £150 million plus mark comes into the picture. He doesn't go otherwise.
Pep and Man City have come out and said that they're not going to
money.
They're not going to force it for a striker. Let's go on to other clubs that can't afford Harry Kane in a minute. But first, let's touch upon it. England, Italy. Is that Mancini?
Mancini, you mean?
Mancini. Come see, come sir. Let's go on to
tomato.
Yeah, tomato. Let's get into the England-Italy game in a bit more detail, guys. Pro, you just see as the danger man there for Italy.
I think, without a doubt, it's Insigne. The front, tricky little man. Yeah, scored some cracking goals this tournament. I think the fulcrum in midfield, Verratti winding everyone up, tackling everyone, trying to get everyone booked. He's a massive part of it. And then I think also, their whole spine. We're trying to starting with Donnarumma, the 21-year-old guy that's just, killed it, completely smashed it this tournament.
Just about to smash
Best goalkeeper in the tournament, without a doubt. He's only 21 years old.
He looks about 40 though, doesn't he? He looks like...
The guy's been playing first-team football since he was 16 years old at AC Milan. Yeah. And been playing for Italy since he was 17.
He's backup keeper at AC Milan's his own brother.
Yeah. That's mad.
Yeah.
But no, the two centre-halves for me, I think are going to make a massive difference.
I think
they're going to be had. They're going to be had because no one has really, even in that Spain game when I was there, no one had. I couldn't believe Luis Enrique didn't bring on Adama Traore in extra time.
He's that wild card, isn't he? He's that wild card.
No sense at all because that team was tiring and so on with Adama.
He tried to bring him on and they scored, didn't they? And then he sat back down.
I couldn't see it. Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, he was bringing him on, and then Spain equalised, and then he sat back down, and he didn't.
He's raw pace. I think. Look, mate. Look, I think
Immobile is such an underrated striker as well.
Italy, Chiesa, mate. Chiesa.
I think he's rivaling.
Do you remember his old man?
100%.
Yeah, Palmer, didn't he?
He's rivaling. Chiesa is
him and Montella.
Yeah. Chiesa is rivaling Sterling for player of the tournament at the minute for me.
But Chiesa didn't start the tournament. It was
coming off the bench.
Yeah, but not Picardi, but Berardi or whatever his name was. He's tall.
Yeah,
on the right hand side, he started on that right hand side. And again, when he came on, mate, he's pace and he's.
He looks like he's on stage, doesn't he? He looks so rapid.
Do we think the Italians are going to change the way that they've been playing?
I think they already England. I think they already did.
And we're going to change the way that
the last couple of games, like Italy, until the quarters, were playing free-flowing, attacking football. Yeah. But as soon as it comes down to the business end of the tournament, where they've got nothing but to win, Belgium, Spain.
Well, they've had two tough games, didn't they? When you think about it,
they had a proper pragmatic style of football.
I think that will lead to this game being less entertaining than if it was, say, England-Spain. I think England-Spain would have been more attacking. I think this one's going to be more sit back.
There's so much on the line.
Both teams have hardly conceded.
You've got to think Italy didn't qualify for the last World Cup.
No.
And since then, my mate Roberto, 34 games they're unbeaten now.
See, this is it. What are England got to do differently to do that? And I think that we showed that we can also be vulnerable. But also, I think, and I hope, that we utilise those two forward positions in the right way, get behind Italy in the same way, because I believe we'll score goals. I really do.
I think one key element is you've got Chelsea's third choice left back starting for them.
Yeah,
you've got Chelsea's third.
He's good at going forward, not very good defensively.
No.
But that's what right at the beginning of it, I said that the left back and that right back can be had.
Yeah,
Kane coming deep, pinging them balls. Neither of the centre backs have got any sort of pace on them. They're just fantastic, really.
They're unbelievable. Two unbelievable centre backs.
For me, Chiellini, one of the joys of watching this tournament and just watching Chiellini play full stop.
It's like just being a mate's dad.
Mate, the way he celebrates a block or a tackle, mate, it could be like he just scored a hat-trick goal.
Yeah.
And it's every time.
No, they're great.
The way they play.
Because Mancini, even the subs they make and their togetherness, you can see. The little fella they've got up front as well, whose name escapes me.
Insigne.
Yeah, Insigne. I think he looks great as well.
He looks rapid. He looks like a little Zola-esque player. Yeah. He looks like
he's got everything. He's got the Zola. He's got Di Canio.
He's 31, man. He's at Napoli. There's the captain there, and he's been doing it for a good couple of seasons. But he's quite understated. He's not really been. You tend to think of Mertens when you think of Napoli and that sort of don't you? You don't really think of him overly, but he's had a blinding tournament. The odds for the game are England 6-4. You've got the draw there at 2-1. You've got Italy there 2-1. So England slight favourites. I did have a look at the Italian odds, and it's very even as well, because often in the different countries you get different odds.
I think they also will understand and allude to the fact that it is in England and that home supporters play a massive, massive. If this was with no fans in, I think the odds would be different.
You've got, Chiellini himself come out and said that he feels that England's bench will be able to win a tournament. And that shows the strength.
Our squad, mate, you've got someone like Jordan Henderson coming in to replace Declan Rice towards the end of these crunch games to shore things up. And not only shore things up, he even comes and scores a goal.
But what's the common denominator with a lot of these players? The common denominator with a lot of these England players is their captains. Jordan Henderson, Declan Rice, Harry Maguire, Harry Kane, Calvin Phillips. They're all captains. Every single one of them.
For me, that England.
How mental is that?
Yeah, Calvin Phillips has come. He's just
he's stopped. Walker's vice captain at Man City when De Bruyne's not playing and whatnot as well. So there's a lot of leaders in there.
But so precisely. You look at that. There is leaders all the way through that team, and that's often the criticism of modern football, isn't it? There's no leaders. Jordan Henderson is probably the most
prolific leader with what he's won.
Look at what he did with the COVID situation and the WhatsApp groups that he leads and all that. Jordan Henderson at the minute is that.
Well, and he plays a massive part in that, because regardless of whether he starts or not, he does play a massive part. And like you said, to have someone like that come on to help the inexperienced midfielders that we have, them two in there, Rice and Phillips, who are 22, 23. For them, it can only be a good.
Is that all what?
Rice is 22.
No, he is.
Phillips is 23.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can't
stop, mate. I'm telling you, for me, Declan Rice has not been an unknown. Yeah, people have been bigging Declan Rice up for the last couple of seasons, and he's proved it. And he's actually playing. He's playing actually more than withdrawn role for England. What his full capability is.
I don't think he had the best game against them.
No, I think very good. Rice. For me, from what I've seen of him, he can play from left back, right back, centre back. He can play every position.
He does play more defensively.
He can do everything.
I do agree. I don't think he necessarily had his best game the other day, but I think the game was going past him in respect to the fact that Denmark always had that player on him. So England did back four were going through other avenues. But for West Ham, as mentioned, when he grabs the ball and he takes that ball forward, he's a different player as well. But yeah, look, this squad are going to be together for a long time.
And how nice is it to see players like Mount and Declan Rice having that sort of camaraderie?
Isn't it? Boys that grew up at Chelsea together.
I love that. Yeah, I love it, and they're both good characters. And I've seen a lot of behind the scenes, things, and the players. Would
you begrudge at the back end of this tour, because he still hasn't signed his contract that's been on the table? That's supposed to be the same sort of money as Yarman, because you're at the highest level there. Would you begrudge him if he just turned around and said, "You know what? I need to be playing the highest level. I am too good for this club, and I'm going to Chelsea because that's who won him. Man United won him.
Yeah, in this country, he's not going to go anywhere for another few years. There's no doubt about that.
A few years, yeah.
Yeah, he'll go eventually.
What if he kicks these toys out of the pram and he kicks off and he wants to leave?
He might well do that, but the bottom line is, I think someone's going to have to come in and pay a lot.
But how long has he left in his contract?
5 years.
What, 5 years?
Yeah, he's just signed a new 5-year deal.
He hasn't signed it though, has he?
No, he signed the 5-year deal last year, and this is a new improved deal to get him up to being one of the highest earners.
Oh, the highest earner.
Yeah, or the highest earner.
But he's not signed.
So not at the moment, no.
He's got to be an 80, £100 million player, isn't it?
But
I'd say about between.
I think you get for 60 to 80.
I think it all depends on what happens with West Ham over the next year or two. If we push on, then this is Noble's last year, so he's obviously going to come in as our captain.
He's got a lot to live up to there.
No, what I'm saying, he's going to come in. He's our captain.
He's already played for England. He's fine.
But he's already our captain without being our captain. So if he takes that responsibility on and West Ham are doing well, he won't need to leave. But if we drop back down...
Are you going to win the Premier League?
No, but nor Chelsea.
Not Chelsea?
No.
They won the Champions League last year with a guy that was there for 3 months, and they're going to back him heavily.
So you think Chelsea's going to win the league this year?
He could do.
No, anyone could do.
No. There's more of a chance of Chelsea winning the league than there is West Ham.
There is, and Tottenham.
Yeah, but we're not talking about.
But he's not. But he's going to. If he's
we're talking about Rice not signing that contract, that's been on the table, and he's weighing up.
If you're trying to get me worried about it, I'm not worried about it. I've learned long enough now that when the players stay on come, they come and go. I'm not bothered. But I think next year he'll be with us. It's down to us to keep those types.
So you say that he gives you one more year then?
No. I think he gives us 2-3 years. He's only 22 years old. If he comes to an age again like Harry Kane, and because his club ain't doing well and he ain't won anything and he needs to go, you can't stop people like that. But unfortunately, time will tell. But I don't get bothered about things like that anymore. I've seen it all.
Let's have your predictions then for Sunday night then. Big game, Wembley Stadium.
It's a tough one to call. It's a tough one.
What are we saying?
Oh, is this not 60,000 or is
67 now?
66, I think.
Has it not been pushed up to the 90,000 that
No.
was?
What, they opened the other tier? I thought
They were trying to push to have the maximum there. But
There'll be another 60,000 in the stadium for England's first final since 1960.
I really believe the Sunday.
Well, I don't think it's 90. I think it was 67.
No. I know it's not 90, but what they were saying is that Boris Johnson and Lee Khan and everyone, they're pushing for it.
I don't believe anything they say. I'd rather watch the sun.
Pretty much.
I think we'll go the whole way.
I think so. I think we're going to be finishing extra time.
Do you reckon penalties, isn't it?
I think it's going to go the whole way, yeah.
If it goes to penalties, I don't fancy our chances.
I didn't fancy our chances against Schmeichel. I thought Schmeichel had a bit between his teeth, and
I don't think it.
But is it coming home though? Oh, but it's never been home.
Yeah.
Cheeky, gimmy.
Yeah, the bit between his teeth in that game, Dennis Schmeichel. The saves that he pulled off against Kane, against Sterling, he was like up for it. He was absolutely up for it. Yeah, predictions. What do you think? You think we're winning extra time, penalties, that sort of thing?
I think we're going to win.
We've got to back it. I think it's going to go the whole way.
Yeah, I think it's going to go the whole way. Or an absolute masterclass, and then we go like 2 up in the first 20 minutes, and then we just hold on.
That could happen though. That could happen because I'm telling you that this back line, as good as they are, they can be had.
I don't think we've got 2 goals in the making.
And the other thing as well, it's a final. Anything can happen.
Yeah, the top scorers of the
Portugal versus Greece in the past.
Yeah, but not.
It could happen. Denmark, it could happen. Anything can happen in the final.
That's quite unanimous. I think we're all thinking a bit of a pragmatic start, and then maybe an England victory by a narrow margin. So come on, boys. Bit of a tough subject, bit more of an odd subject. One of the biggest powerhouse clubs in the world, no doubt about that, is having a bit of struggle at the minute. Barcelona.
Oh, what, the team that signed 3 class players but can't actually play them because they're not registered.
The one common denominator with those 3 players, they're on a free transfer. So it shows the need for Barcelona for the Super League, and they've shown their hand on why they were forcing it and pushing it, because they need to wipe £200 million off of their...
Well, Real Madrid are still in there. They're the only ones, but they're still in there.
They need to wipe £200 million off of their salary. The initial payment from JP Morgan was going to be 300 million, so that would have worked perfectly to wipe that 200 million deficit off. They can't re-sign Messi at the minute, and Messi equates to an additional 31% revenue, which then allows them to sign these other 3 players. There's talks about Pjanic, Coutinho, and Samuel Umtiti being either released or sold. Francisco Trincao signed in January 2020 from Portugal for 31 million euros, has just been loaned to Wolves.
How's he got to Wolves? When you think about the capability he's got, the amount of clubs that he could have gone to.
George Mendes.
Yeah, that's true.
Mendes. How sad is it? Do you think it's sad? Do you think it's about time?
No.
They're £1 billion in debt.
Wait, they keep on just...
They've run the club themselves. There's no one else to blame. And look, they've run it on the back of Messi for long enough now. And no, I don't feel sorry for them as a club. Not when you look around and there's clubs like Bury who go out of business and other teams like that in the lower leagues.
So
like,
restarting,
good luck to them and good luck to the others. And it could have easily happened to to a West Ham. It could have happened to Leeds, as we know. So I don't feel sorry for them. When your club is run badly, and we've been guilty of that in the past, and you've had a little bit of bad luck with it, and things happen, then that's not bad luck. You know, that's being run badly. And Barcelona have run their club badly because they think that they're better than everything else that come along with it. They overspend because they buy players from their rivals. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it.
Well, the man is saying, do you know the rumours about Griezmann's salary? 700,000 euros.
600 grand.
700,000 euros per week for Anton Griezmann.
It just doesn't add up to me.
It doesn't make sense. Now, the problem I've got with this is the premise of Barcelona. What do you think of Barcelona?
Sure.
You think of Barcelona, La Masia, don't you? The training academy that they bring all these players through. That's what you think of Barcelona, and that's what they built everything on.
Their best player for Spain this year has been one of them.
Pedri.
But they've lost that mould now, because now all they do is they look at all their rivals and they buy.
But they haven't done.
They buy their best players.
What it was built on was Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, Pedro, Piqué, who was there, so brought back, Fabregas, all those players coming through. What they've done now is completely chuck that out the window. Yeah. You sign Ousmane Dembele, you sign Umtiti, you sign Griezmann, you sign Coutinho. None of these, I think, have even come close to becoming anywhere near those players that were playing at Barcelona.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that, like I said, they've lost their ethos of what the club was all about. And that was purely because their competitors were getting a lot closer to them. Real Madrid's, obviously, and the Atletico Madrid's that have proved that they're on par with them. So I think that it's bad for football, but they deserve the struggle.
Do you think they'd be allowed to be bankrupt?
I don't think the government will let that happen. They're run by a part of the government, aren't they?
No, that's Real Madrid.
I don't know.
I think, oddly enough, weirdly though, at 34, I think Messi, I think he looks bigger than La Liga right now. Well, look at what's happened there.
Right? La Liga for me is not the Liga that I remember.
No.
It's not competitive.
Look at what's happened. The money, the sponsorship money and the TV money is filtered up just to those two clubs. Atletico Madrid are a little bit behind. The rest of the teams deal with nothing. So because of the greed of Real Madrid and Barcelona to capitalise on their star power, that is no longer a league that is financially viable. It's not competitive.
And it's not competitive. And to be honest with you, where there was a big hype of it, of watching the Sunday Spanish League, no one cares about it.
I don't even look at.
No, I don't either. Every now and again, it'll come up. No, but
I think it's on Freeview. But I think it's on
even the
free sport.
The Classico, people used to take their time out to watch it. Now I'm just like, I've finished mine. All right, I'm not.
Look at Mourinho Pep, that rivalry.
Yeah, the rivalry.
Everyone, how venomous that was. Yeah. Everyone watched it. It was passionate.
The Spanish league has lost a lot of credibility over the last few years, and it's proven now by this gay-ho of, I'm going to go and spend all the money that we can and run the club properly.
Talking about the Spanish league, how about Diego Simeone extending his contract for another 3 years?
Yeah,
and he's been at the club now for 11 years.
I'd love to have seen him in the Premier League, because I think
he'll still come.
I think he's brilliant. I can see him ending up at Chelsea, to be honest with you, but
he's too pragmatic of a manager to go to Chelsea office.
Certain clubs he'd be a good fit, but others he wouldn't. You can't see him at City, Man United. Look at Mourinho football, Man United. How they got sort of.
You see his press conference?
Roma.
Yeah, where he was talking about, I won 2 trophies at Man United. It's a failure. Got to a cup final, but I didn't get to play at the time. That's a failure. But my failures are successes for some people. But that's what he is, though. That's what he's become now.
That is what
that's what he's become now. He's a showman.
Yeah,
and everyone likes to follow the show because he's good to watch.
Yeah, and I will follow Roma's results based on the fact that I want to see if he's doing well there. So the appointment of Roma, of him going to Roma for Roma, is a very viable one.
I think the real telling sign of Mourinho this day and age is the Luke Shaw situation. Look at how Luke Shaw has been performing for England and Man United in the back end of that season. Roberto Carlos-esque, isn't it, really? Look at the balls he's been putting in. Look at that. He still looks unfit, He doesn't look like
body shape. If he took his top off, right, I don't think anyone would be like, "Oh, look at him now."
He's not.
But it's just his shape. But the way he plays the game, I think he's better.
But he's always been a baller like that since he was at Southampton.
He's got a wand of a left foot,
Yeah,
and the England setup, the team works for him. I think as a left back more than as a left wing back, but as a left back who can get forward and support, I wouldn't want to be running at Luke Shaw to try and take him on. I wouldn't fancy my chances if I was a right winger, mainly because he's strong, he's quick, and he's good on the ball.
Exactly, yeah.
And that was what Ashley Cole was all about.
Yeah.
And he's matching in that respect. So good luck to him. Fair play to him for coming back and proving Mourinho wrong. I think there's a lot of players that can do that. Hopefully not next year in Spurs, but yeah, I think it says a lot about Mourinho at the moment. I don't think he's the same person that we all remember as Chelsea.
You know, the biggest look. We're gonna go back to England before we wrap up the show. As we're talking about Jose, what is the biggest telltale signs about someone like him is he doesn't give. He thinks these professional players should be keeping themselves fit and performing at a high level, and he doesn't put that much emphasis on their fitness levels. And you saw it at Man United when he left. You know, Ole had to put in a lot of work to get the fitness levels up of these players. Same thing at Tottenham.
Yeah,
you know.
What do you think about that, though? As you've mentioned it, I think is it. Yes, I think the players have taken responsibility, especially on pre-season. You know, clubs now. I remember back in pre-season, you just got given a program and you just had to come back fit. And in your first 2-3 weeks of pre-season, you was overweight. And you were just running. Nowadays, it's not like that. You know, even in your holiday, you're working because you're an athlete. So do you think? So my question quickly is: do you think the clubs are responsible for that, or the manager, or the players that take responsibility for their own fitness throughout the season as well?
Both. I think it's a bit of both. I think during the season, it's down to the clubs. But the successful players I know that are the big players, they go out and they work outside the club. They work outside.
I think the fitness levels are at a different level.
The training pitch and all that.
Yeah, no, but it's not that. They finish training with a football club, then they'll go elsewhere and go and put in the work with the strength and conditioning coaches.
They're at different levels now to what it was.
Souček's an example of that, and I don't want to bring it back in, but they always say that.
Has he signed his new contract?
He signed his contract. He got that. After training, he will stay out and run another 4 or 5 miles or something. So he comes in on his day off and does it. But his performances in the league have reflected that. So yeah, it goes back to what we were saying: is the players do have to keep themselves fit, but the manager surely has to be on top of that.
Yeah. But look, anyway, good luck to Jose. Hope he does all right and it works out well for him. But going back to England, mate, what are we going to do Sunday, boys? What's everyone doing? If you can comment below what your ritual's going to be on Sunday, what are you going to do before the game?
Lucky pants on.
Lucky pants. You're going to be drinking from 1 o'clock in the morning, or are you going to sleep? Are you going to sleep because they got the Brazil-Argentina game on also at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Also, completely just wobbling it around. Send us your videos of you out on the Sunday, and we'll play them next week. So drop it to us on Instagram, right? Of all your videos of you and your mates out, your celebrations, and we'll pick the best 4 or 5, and we'll put them on the show next week.
Please don't, guys. Just before, I wanted to do something quite different, mate. I'm going to leave it. We've got a bit of a clip from Del Boy to play in a second. But if you was Gareth Southgate, mate, what would you say as a rallying cry just before the guys go out? Look straight down the camera, mate. Look at the camera.
I'll just be like, lads, since 1966, we've not been in a final. Go out there today. Be heroes. Make your family proud. Make your clubs proud. You will go down as a hero. Don't leave anything in this changing room. Go out there and smash it. Because we are England. We've got 3 lions. Play with it on your chest. Leave it to the rest. Come on, England.
Guess what?
He's coming home.
You got yourself confused, monkey. I meant a monkey each way. What are you? Sorry. Sorry about that. How are you, Gareth? All right? Hey, still living up there in North London? I had a mate, you know. He used to live down the road from you, you know, in Finchley. Yeah. Anyway, listen, I digest. Why I wanted to get in touch with you was to tell you, and the boys under your command, I'm going to wish them the very best of luck, right? And, while I'm talking about luck, could you do me a favour? You know, could you have a word with that captain of yours? What's his name? Barry Payne, is it? Yeah. Could you tell him to stop jumping up and down in the box when someone is trying to score a goal? Last time his head got in the way, but fortunately it went in the net. But he was lucky, right? Okay. And, just before you go, I wondered if you could, thank you, do me a favour, will you? I got a container load of these. Now, I wondered whether you'd do me a favour and get the boys to sign them all, well, only when you've won, right? So, here you go, wishing you well. Remember this, tell them all. He who dares wins. Love from Del Boy.